There are a number of challenges, and although I think the landscape has changed a little since I left the forces 20 years ago, I think one of the key things that people face, particularly if you've been in the services for a number of years, is where do I even start to look for a job? What platforms, what methods can I use to find jobs that are related to me that I can apply for? Well, when any member of the forces is going to be leaving, one of the things that the relevant force will put in place is a resettlement course. So they'll offer advice and training opportunities for whatever field you want to move into when you move into civilian life. But what you also find nowadays is that there are organisations and dedicated recruitment organisations that purely specialise in helping ex-forces personnel find jobs in the civilian life. I think there are a lot of opportunities. Forces personnel have a lot of transferable skills, and I think people will tend to look at the obvious that tends to get mentioned in terms of they're going to be disciplined, they're probably going to be self-motivated, driven, those types of things. But they have a lot of other skills. If you look at some of the situations that forces personnel will find themselves in active duty, some of the skills they will need in terms of good communication, leadership, problem solving, those types of things, are skills that an employer look for in today's civilian life. And I think certainly roles, whether it's management, middle management type opportunities, project management, whether it's in security market, transport, health and safety, there's certainly areas where there are a lot of opportunities that I think service personnel can benefit from. I think when you think of forces personnel, people automatically think of, oh, they're a team player, or they're disciplined, or they're reliable. But if you look at what these people do on a day-to-day basis, some of the situations they find themselves in, they need to have developed leadership skills. They need to be a strong communicator. They need to be able to problem solve, and most certainly they need to be adaptable and be able to multitask. Yeah, it's another key point, and something that ex-forces personnel really need to consider before they go for an interview. The skills that they would have picked up in situations that they've encountered while they're in the forces, for me, one of the ways to try and translate that across to a potential employer within Civvy Street is to think of those skills and maybe a similar situation in Civvy Street that you maybe use them within the forces, and then demonstrate that to an employer when they ask the question. You need to give an example and demonstrate it so that somebody can actually see that you do have those skills and it's not just something that you say you have. I think the first thing is be clear on what you want to do and why you want to do it. You will definitely be asked that by a potential employer. Ensure that your CV's fit for purpose. Use all possible methods for job hunting, so whether that's the internet, newspapers, friends and family, joining discussion groups online of people who are in that type of work. Make sure that any interview you do get, that you thoroughly research the company, and off of that research, make sure you have some questions that you want to ask any potential employer, and not just about your salary or how much holiday you're going to get, but around the role and what the expectations are. Be clear on what you want to do and why you want to do it. Ensure that your CV is fit for purpose, and be clear on what skills you want to highlight and how you're going to demonstrate them to a potential employer that you have those skills. I think there are a lot of benefits to employing an ex-forces person. The key things for me, outside of the skills that they would have picked up, will be the personal traits that they will have. They will be very disciplined, they will be a team player, they will be very self-motivated, and they'll be driven. And I think any employer is looking for those personal traits within an individual. The skills that they have will then follow off the back of that.